Hello, and happy Thursday, happy Thursday to my beautiful, lovely, wonderful Pisces. How are you doing today? I hope you've had a wonderful week, and we're going to be getting into your relationship reading. We're going to see what's going on for our singles, for our couples, and for our friendships. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Let's get started. Ooh, okay, singles. Singles are coming out the gate pretty strong. All right. Ooh, we have the Devil card. Ooh, singles. Do we have an attachment that is maybe not the healthiest? So let's take a look at what's going on there. We have Seven of Pentacles. We have the Fool. And what else are we going to get? And the Wheel of Fortune. How interesting. Maybe it's just a Capricorn. You know, maybe they're just like, time to get real, time to get serious. Maybe it's very Saturnian energy. You do have Saturn. Sorry, there's a hair on there. Sorry. Okay. You do have Saturn in your sign right now, which is making you be much more serious, much more focused, much more diligent even than what you may normally be, when you may give yourself a lot more leeway to examine kind of your interest and your passions and to stay in more of that dreamy space of creation as opposed to that very like concrete getting things done space. And so perhaps it's just that Capricorn energy, just saying that like, okay, you planted these seeds, you've made investments in yourself. You're the only one showing up here, in yourself. And now it's time to take a leap of faith so that your fortune can change, so that things can improve, so that the wheel can turn in your favor. Let's see what's going on. Oh, okay. There's an ending that's coming to place. Look at this one. And you're turning your back on the past. I love that for you. And now you're looking at what are your choices? What are your choices? What are you interested in? This is definitely a reading about taking a look at the hard work that you've done for that healing that's been needed, about letting go and starting over, being fresh, being new, trying out different things. You might be dating, you may be traveling. With Three of Wands is definitely a traveling card, but it's an exploration. It seems like to look at what is it that you like. Figuring out what it is you like, figuring out what it is that you're interested in, figuring out what it is that you're going for. Oof, and your ending card is a Five of Cups. Okay, so a Five of Cups coming after a Seven of Cups is saying that there may need to be you may end up after you get to this point of kind of releasing, of taking a chance, seeing things start to change, seeing things start to improve, seeing endings like, and in this case, I really see like a Death card coming under the Seven of Pentacles and coming under the Devil card as an ending related to the investments that haven't paid off, into the hard work that you do that doesn't go anywhere, and just letting that go so that you can turn around and start towards something new, so you can work towards these new connections, or what it is you'd actually want when it comes to an emotional connection. And from there, it seems like you get to this place where you recognize that you need to mourn some of the things that didn't work out, perhaps even mourn some of the things that have come to an end, especially if you were talking to someone and you realize that like they're just not a good match for you. When you thought about all the things that you wanted, when you thought about all the things that you were interested in, as your life in general started to improve from the hard work that you're doing in aligning with your desires, as you see that start to change and shift, you may be finding that the person that you're talking to or that you were interested in is not a good match for that. And so it's the releasing of that. And it's saying, if you get to this point during this month of February, mourn, because what will happen is if you constantly have your back turned to what's coming for you. In this case, a Three of Wands is different having your back turned than a Five of Cups. The Three of Wands is looking out into the future and turning its back and saying, I'm not going backwards anymore. The wheel has turned. This is over. I'm like walking away. Like everyone is walking away, walking forward, right? Even this individual with the Seven of Cups is a back turn, but it's a back turn looking towards what your desires are, looking towards your fantasies. These are back turns that are really good, because it's a sign of moving forward. It's a sign of looking out. The Five of Cups is a back turn that you can see here what they're looking at specifically, and it's the things that didn't work out. It's the past. You have your back turned in this case, to the future. And so you really need to be mindful of, as you are kind of moving on and letting these feelings, these emotions, these investments, these connections end, wrapping them up pretty much, that you are mourning those things that didn't work out and taking that in as information to use so that you can go and move towards the new cups that are coming in, the 2 cups that still remain. Okay, so we're cutting some ties here, we're breaking some chains, we're changing our connections, we're doing the Saturnian work of analyzing what is working and what is bringing us closer to 7 of Cups, 10 of Cups, the overall feeling of happiness and joy and successful connections and relationships. You're doing that work to get closer to that point. But it may end with you feeling a little bit like, let me spend time just feeling the feelings that I'm having towards what didn't work out. All right, for our couples, our Pisces couples, let's see what's going on with you. Ooh, Judgment card. Okay, a new beginning. A new beginning, a renewal. Ooh, okay. If there may have been some questions or concerns about wanting to move forward, or feeling like choice needed to be made because maybe the relationship was feeling a little stale or feeling a little stuck, feeling a little bit like, it needs some spice, it needs some expansion, that's coming to an end, and you're moving to a much better space mentally, overall. So if y'all have been in kind of a rough patch mentally and dealing with the world around you, literally the 2 of Wands is holding the world in your hands, but it feels like it's in this case, it's like you can't even get to that point where you have that time to examine and to dream and to do all those things, because right now it seems like there's just so much going on external to you. You can't make a choice. You can't move forward yet. You have to change kind of how you're looking at things. You have to change the mental space that you're in. Justice is a part of this. So there was, and that's why I was like, it seems like some external circumstances kind of in the way. Justice will be coming in. So whatever you're putting in will be what you get out. So if someone has done something that caused a desire or a need to move forward that was bringing you some emotional, this is such pretty cards sitting on top of each other, some mental strain and stress, you're getting to this point now where you're seeing that, I'll put this over here, you're getting to this point now where you're seeing that if you were doing all the things that you were supposed to and your partner is doing all the things that they're supposed to, that justice will be served. And as you kind of let go of this desire that was coming up, that just was not, it just wasn't working in the way that you all wanted to, it was just causing a lot of stress and strain and drama, honestly, that when you let go of that, I have to think my way out of this, I'm not in a good space, justice comes in and says, wonderful, don't worry, we got it. You're trying to take care of something that you need to let the universe take care of, okay? And then we get to, again, a juggling energy. A juggling energy about perhaps a move, a purchase, of buying a car, how you want to move forward. It is interesting that you have 2s here, so a choice that needs to be made, a decision, going back and forth between a choice. And then in this case, we have a literal forward movement, this mental forward movement, emotional and spiritual forward movement, going within, getting very clear about what your desires are, and then putting the things in place, harnessing those desires and driving that boat. So it's it's kind of like the Magician card, only instead of it being directing your will, it is directing your emotions and your psychic energy, so that you are being very intentional about where you're inputting and where you're investing that attention. Oh, but it's stressful. I think honestly that these changes, it seems like these 2s and this forward movement and all of this situation, this stuff that's going on is stressful. It's stressful and it's keeping you up at night. I think trying to make all these choices, trying to maybe influence. The things that are going on in your world that are outside of your control might be bringing some stress into your space. You really need to center and focus on the things you can control, the things that are within your power, what's in your locus of control. What is it that you can impact? And are you doing the things that are in alignment with bringing you balance and peace within your relationship? So this may be, you may be having some conversations. Your partner may be a Libra. Cancer energy is here. But, you know, in your relationship, you really need to take a look at what brings us balance, because we have these twos here, so those choices, but also that juggling literally here of the investment of the next moves to make. Where do I go from here? You know, so you or your partner may be changing jobs, maybe changing circumstances, things like that, and you're really trying to make sure that you're making like the best move. And it could be exciting to think about going after something that like your soul is very invested in, but it can also be stressful if maybe you're just not sure what's going to be the outcome of what's on the other side of that. Justice is saying that you got to trust the process. You got to trust that things will work out, that things will balance out. We're ending with the Queen of Wands. So if you're a fiery person or your partner's a fiery person, if you're someone who is very confident and self-assured, or if you have someone who maybe is in your life that can hold this space, that can carry this energy, that can help out and maybe provide some guidance, it would be wise to maybe tap into that. But to take this stance of, yes, although it may be stressful and there are maybe a lot of changes, new beginnings starting, that, you know, these people, the Justice and the Queen of Wands have very similar stances in these cards. And so they're standing upright, they're looking ahead, they're trusting the process, and they trust that they know what they need to be doing. So I think that this is a really good reading around having some conversations, especially with your partner. You have two sword cards here, one leaving a negative mental situation and heading into a sunnier, a better mental space, and the other feeling like ending with feeling really stressed. It's around like the confidence of understanding that things will work out, you will be taken care of, justice will be served, a new beginning is coming, and that they need to stabilize their mind, find the balance and harmony within themselves. That's the Chariot card, in order to know which is the best decision to make instead of trying to overthink. They're trying to think their way out instead of feeling their way out, and it's not going to help, okay? It's just going to be stressful. So like, trust your intuition, be confident in your decisions, approach this as a partnership, okay? All right, let's take a look at friendships and see what's going on there. And then that'll be it for our Pisces. This month was honestly kind of rough for relationships so far. The readings have been a little bit of a doozy. Let's see what our friendship has to say for our Pisces. Oops. Pisces friendship. Let's see what we got in the cards for Pisces and friendship. Ooh, love the Empress. Okay. Oh, okay. We're working on those trust issues, Pisces. Oh, didn't notice it. Okay, there we go. We're working on those trust issues, Pisces. Building trust. Ooh, finding our own path. Being the Empress. Being very much in your power. Creating. There may be some defense of your stance that you've taken. Knight of Cups. This is a nice reading. Okay, so there may, like I said, you may be working on some trust issues. There may have been someone in your past who was not the most reliable, most dependable. They may not have shown up and been very upfront with you. You might have felt like you really need to be protecting your peace, protecting your mental health, protecting kind of yourself. So you may have been trying to stock up resources, or just like even being a little paranoid. And thinking of, okay, how do I prep for the worst? Like, how do I prep for betrayal? How do I prep for someone who's lying? Like, all of that kind of energy might be like under the surface going on in your friendships right now. But we're looking at the Lovers here. We're looking at this idea of choosing our own path and choosing our own, creating our own life, and figuring out like, who are you when it comes to the Lovers card? Are you the angel looking down? Are you even in this picture it's Eve and Adam. Are you Eve who's listening to the wisdom of your higher self and connecting to your mind? Are you Adam who's being very practical, very grounded? Are you all of these individuals really taking in the lessons of your experience, you know, and deciding from there how you'll go? Or are you taking on like the expectations of others? We have because, you know, Eve made her own choices if you go with the canonical story. And Adam was influenced by Eve eventually, but was going to do as he was told, do as he was instructed. So it's like, which stance are you taking when it comes to things? You know, and making that decision for yourself. We do have this very fertile energy, though, this very creative, nurturing, nourishing energy that is active within you right now. And you're wanting these connections. You're wanting to come together. You're wanting to be in this space where you're finding these people who you're able to, you know, maybe be a little wild, a little unconventional, a little just, you know, wherever the feeling takes you, whatever your instincts pull you towards, you want to be able to do that thing. And you may be looking for partnerships that encourage that support that. But you're defending your stance. You're having to be a little defensive. You're having to maybe defend some of your choices, defend the way that you want to do things, defending what your soul and your instincts are telling you is the right thing to do, but that maybe other people can't see, but they're not in your head. They're not going to know. And then we have this Knight of Cups coming in. So it's an offer coming in, an emotional connection coming in. Oof, Lord. With the Three of Swords. So heartbreak, breakup, learning lessons from the past. You know, and then a King of Swords. I think that as these as a new connection comes in, or as these new connections come in, and you're dealing with trust issues from the past, you're dealing with learning how to trust again, learning how to express yourself, learning how to learn, literally, learning from the things that didn't work out in the past. You're taking in this information from when your heart has been broken before, and you're putting into place practices to maintain, to allow for connection, but to maintain your sovereignty, to maintain your own space, to not get lost in the connection or in a desire or a role to mother, to nurture, to create, to carry the load of everything. You are understanding that, you know, maybe you need to take some time out and meditate and really think about this before you make a decision or before you move forward with this connection or accept this offer that's coming in. Your outcome is the Page of Cups. So we get a Knight of Cups and we get a Page of Cups. I think that there's nothing wrong I think that overall you'll always have people wanting to come into your life. You'll always be meeting new people. You'll always be making new connections. It is your work to do the healing, to understand and create discernment, King of Swords, Five of Swords, about who it is to let in, how much you share with them, how deep you allow the relationship, the friendship to go and to be, and to understand that maybe sometimes they're just connections in the moment. Knight of Cups, not very well thought out, very emotionally charged, just like we're in a good feel-good space. Page of Cups, very immature, very young energy. Maybe it's just fun, and it's okay that not every relationship has to be this divine, you know, deep soul connection of the lovers. Maybe they just are fun. And maybe you keep that lightness there, you know. I think of Mayat, right? And the heart being weighed on the scales, and your heart must be as light as a feather. Keeping your heart light to allow in these connections, but understanding, creating that space, having that discernment to understand the ones that need to be deeper connections, like the lovers, and ones that need to be lighter connections that are just fun and enthusiastic, and they allow you to be wild and free and to create and to make new things without maybe having the depth that you might have want, but that there will be other connections through which you are able to obtain that. Okay, so that's going to be it, Pisces. That's going to be your friendship reading. If you haven't already, go check out your February overview. And there's information about the giveaway for an Oracle deck in there, so you can go check that information out. And that's going to be it. I love you. I'll see y'all later. Have a great one. Bye.